Your back, please. Stretch out your legs. Spread them normally. Means as wide as your pelvis or something like that. It needn't be measured. By sensation, it's good enough, only not together. And now stretch your arms shoulder high on the floor. And that, all right? Now, would you make your hands into fists? But without power, just hold the fist. And now look, you can roll the fist on the floor, can't you? That's right. Now, that's right. Roll both fists downwards. That means down the direction of the feet. Roll them and roll them back. And keep on doing that slowly. Roll them until everybody does it, really. Roll the fists on the floor downwards. That's right. Now you can see that normally we roll the fist like that from lying on the knuckles until they lie on the thumb. So it means something like 180 degrees or something, isn't it? Now, is that the limit? Or is it because we don't understand or don't feel right that it doesn't improve? Now, suppose we want to do it a little bit more. Of course, you could twist yourself and screw yourself up and do some pain. Then you'll see by how much will you gain? Practically nothing. Only the strain will be much bigger, and of course will do less good than is thought. Now, see, by lifting the head, lift the head while you do that. Lift the head and see, but no, roll together with it's not a question of holding the head up, but while you roll the fists and simultaneously lift the head together with that. And you will see, of course, that the arms roll a little bit more. Now, as usual, you will find that we learn so fast that if you do that a few times with the head together, we can roll the arms afterwards. Roll them forward like you did, like that, downwards as we did. We'd lift the head and see that you can add another little bit. And now stay there with your fists and put the head back. You will see that it has nothing to do with the head. In fact, you can do the same rolling without it. Now, as soon as you have learned, you see, our nervous system learns the connection and therefore finds afterwards the means of producing the same thing without the head. Try and see. There's nothing to it. You can roll your practically the same thing with the head as without the head. Provided you try, honestly for yourself, of course, try again, lift the head and see how far you can go, and then find out. Because the fact is, in order to roll the arms, it's the shoulders that you have to lift the floor to make that. Now, that's why when you lift the head, you lift the shoulders, and therefore you become aware that it's necessary to lift the shoulders. And then you can lift it without the head, of course. Everybody can do that. All right, now stretch out a bit and then put your arms alongside your body, and rest a bit. And as usual, observe, note the difference. The difference you feel in your shoulder blades and the way the arms are lying. And now stretch your arms again, stretch them sideways. Make your fists and roll the arms upwards. It means in the direction of the head. Roll them upwards. That's right. And back again, of course, to the middle, and then upwards again many times. Upwards, and you, of course, some will see immediately they lift your elbows off the floor, you can roll a little bit more. But again, is that the limit? Can't we do any better? Try a few times. Now bend your knees. Okay. And now do, simultaneously with rolling the fists, lift your pelvis off the floor. And see how far can you go like that. A few times, do that. Or your feet together, that is looking for trouble. Oi. Because you see, while you hold your feet together, you have to keep the balance of the body from rocking to right and left. Therefore, you're not free to do anything. Slowly, lift your pelvis while you... And of course, if you hold your feet too far away from the body, if your feet are not close enough, now, so try to move them. Move them forward, move them backwards, to find out where can you lean on them best. And when you find out where you can lean on them best, you'll find your wrists will turn more. And in fact, you can come with practically with the elbows to the floor on the other side. Don't strain, it's not necessary. You'll get there anyway. Now you see therefore that the better you lift your pelvis in the chest, the better roll the wrists, obviously. Now as before, turn your wrists like you are, now turn your fists upwards with the pelvis as far as it will go, without strain, and slowly lower your pelvis. You'll see the arms will stay there. Therefore, again, you can go on, try again, and see whether you can get to the same position without the pelvis. Roll the arms and see. See, it's just a tiny bit difficult because you have only lifted the pelvis 3 times or something. Now try again with the pelvis and without the pelvis, and you'll find that in a few minutes you can do the same thing with the pelvis and without the pelvis. In fact, that's right. We soon learn how to differentiate the muscles of the shoulders. You remember we talked about that differentiation. Though we didn't do it in childhood, we can still do it. So long as we are not dead, we can do it. and do it rather easily, without working hard for weeks or months. But in one lesson or two. All right, now stop it. Stretch out and see that while you do that, something is changing in the shoulder blades, in the pectoral muscles, in the chest. And if we could from the beginning not strain at all, there would be only pleasure all the way through. But at the beginning, it's impossible without straining. Everybody feels sometimes obliged inwardly to try his then best. If it's a little bit short of painful or disagreeable, then you can't afford it. You have to get it so that you feel that you deserve the learning. In fact, the learning is more important than the suffering. Now, would you please bend your knees again, stretch out your arms, make them into fists, and now lift your head and roll your fists downwards. That's right. And you will see, funnily enough, they roll more than before. And now roll them back upwards and lift your pelvis, and you will be again found very funny. It rolls more. And keep on doing those two things slowly. Lift the head, and you will see that while you do that, only will do that half a dozen times or something, so long as it's not tiring or not painful. Keep on doing it. And the slower you do it, the more you observe where you interfere with the bending, with the lifting of the head, with lifting of the pelvis, you'll find that it improves with each discovery, each thing you can find. Know what you're doing enables you to do what you want. That's right, very good indeed. Now you'll stop it, try to move with the arms alone, and you will see that you can reach the same thing, or practically the same thing. But then we are only at the beginning of the lesson. Now, just put the arms along your body and rest of it. Stretch or hold your feet as you like. But again, while you do that, note the difference, the way the body lies on the floor. In detail. Means in the heels and the hip joints, behind the knees, at your ribs and shoulder blades, and the breathing. Now would you please sit up? And sit. Put your legs in any symmetrical sort of fashion, like the lotus or similar or something like that, or the 2 feet together. The best thing is to put the soles together. That's right. That's it. We'll change that so it's not tiring. Now, put your arms sideways like that, and roll your fists forward. That means downwards, what you called before, downwards. and back again. Now, look again. How little that moves. Try for that downwards, yeah? Now bend your head, you know that. Bend your head and see how much better you can turn your arm. Now straight and bring the arms back to the same position. Now try again. Try several times, a few times. Just enough to feel the hang of it, to know what it is, how to organize it. Now you want to see something. If you want to turn your hands much more, then bend the head forward, try here, bend the head forward, and take the arms lower back and lift them away. You see, that's right. You'll find that they turn another 30, 40 degrees like that. Look. But don't strain, just do that. You'll find that bend forward, and by the way, you will notice that your head and the spine gets more flexible while you do that. With each movement, you'll find your head going lower down. Try and see. Even if you don't try, take the arms, join them a little bit and move them. Can you see how much they turn? And watch. With each movement, you'll find your head going a little bit nearer to the floor. Don't strain to go near to the floor. Just do the movement. You'll go to the floor. Go to the floor by itself. Each movement will bring you a little bit nearer to the floor. Now, will you please lie on your back the rest of it? Again, have a look. You remember we mentioned that at the beginning, 5 cardinal lines: the spine, the legs, the arms, and of course the rocker, as you say. Right? There are 5 cardinal lines. Can you examine them methodically? How the spine lies on the floor from the coccyx, in the pelvis behind, in the lumbar region, means in the small of the back, the chest, the cervical vertebrae, and now the 2 arms from the 7th cervical vertebrae, means the big vertebra between the shoulders, 1 arm, 1 shoulder, and the other, their length, their volume, their shape, what you sense from that, and the legs from the hip joints downwards. And while you do it, think, could you perceive the 5 lines in one go? Left arm or right arm, and left leg and right leg, and then the spine. Can you think of the right arm when you think of the left simultaneously, and also the legs, and the back of the head, and the length of the spine? Now the left leg from the hip joint down, and the right leg, and the left leg again, and the right arm, and the left arm, and the right leg, and the spine, and the head, and the shoulders, and the length of the arm, and the length of the other arm, and the length of the legs. and the length of the spine from the coccyx all through. Now, would you please stretch your arms, bend your knees, make your hands into fists, and now of course you know the trick. You roll the fists downwards, you lift the head. Try. Again, you with your feet all the time. Roll, and then when you roll the other way, lift the pelvis. Now, how will you improve that? By keeping on doing the same thing all over again and again. And why? And don't stand on the heels, stand on your feet. Bring your feet near to your body so that you can stand on the feet. Now, there is that way which we normally do. We can't think of anything better, so there's nothing. But you can't bend your head. Look, I will do what I would not advise to do and what I consider to be gymnastics. Now, have your arm. Now, twist your fist down the floor. See, lift your head. And another little effort, a little bit higher, go on. Now, once more, higher, stronger. Another little effort. Surely you can do it. Look, this one can do it. Do it. Now, all right. Now, twist them the other way around. You have no willpower of your own. Couldn't you make the little effort? Now, lift your pelvis. Lift your pelvis. Now, push hard. Ruin your back there if you can. Go ahead. Now, so that would be the next way of doing it. What would we do now to improve that, what we have achieved? We want to improve it further. I say this is not the limit of human possibilities in rolling the fist. Now, how will we do it? That method sounds ridiculous. And obviously is not a good one because most people don't do it. Only some people are so don't believe in their ability to cope with the world so much that they have to strengthen themselves. Only those do those sort of things and work every morning, force themselves to do it. The great majority says, Bankma, I have more important things to do. Because actually it doesn't work. You can strain, and what happens? You get bored, it's difficult, painful, and that's not, give it up. Now, stretch your arms sideways, roll them into fists, and do a funny sort of thing. Roll your arms downwards, and while you do that, lift your pelvis. But together with downwards, but keep on doing it. Go back, now. Roll them downwards and lift your pelvis. Do that several times. Downwards. Can you see that's differentiating the shoulders, the muscles of the shoulders from the body, that instead of going in that one possible way, they have a choice. And as you heard last time, it's enough to make that change in the motor cortex, that a linked, a fixed pattern is dismantled, just moved apart and changed in order that the whole cortex becomes softer and therefore all the muscles get looser and the body gets more flexible and the movement becomes bigger. And if you don't believe me, try it now. Lie down without lifting the pelvis and lift the head, and you'll see whether something has not improved in your movement. Now roll the arms upwards, and this time When they are upwards, lift the head. Roll upwards, lift the head. Roll downwards and lift the pelvis. It means just the opposite of what we did before. Now do that several times. That's right. And see why does it feel so bizarre to do something like that, which is obviously just as good as the other one, except why did we pick on the other one only? Do half a dozen times or so. And now do it in the normal way and see the difference. And you see whether the normal way has not improved a bit. Yeah? Now sit up. Put your feet together. And now stretch out your arms and do the same thing. Here, you roll the arms downwards, but instead of lowering your head, throw it backwards. Not powerfully, just gently. By the way, you will see that the head doesn't go enough backwards. Everybody becomes aware that it doesn't. And therefore you will see why you couldn't turn your wrists, your arms more. Slowly, you can only improve so much as your body will allow you to do it, and your intelligence discern the difference. And therefore no use training, no use trying, just watch, observe, become aware, clear, and that's that, and that will improve. It will improve as much as it can. Slowly, therefore, twist your hands downwards and take the head backwards. Then twist them upwards, roll them upwards, and bend your head. And note, you'll see that one arm does it differently from the other. One a little bit better, the other one a little bit worse. Obviously, it can't be that you do the same thing on both sides. Therefore, become aware of that, both will be better. Slowly, it's hard. Therefore, don't do many, just you can stop and try again. And don't stretch, don't push that. It's enough to do it with the kindest way you can treat yourself. Because it's not the pressure and not the strain that will make any difference. If I ask you now to add 10 degrees to that, you can only do it by wrenching your arms out. So, what's the use? It won't work. Just slowly, very slowly, turn the arms and bring the head a little bit down, but in the opposite direction of the movement of the arms. That's right. And you will see that while you do that, you will find your head going better and better down. You know why? Because in order to do that, you have actually to move the muscles of the spine and the stomach, which you weren't doing. That's why the arms wouldn't twist either. So now when you become aware of that, you will see that when you try to do it, that you do it much better than before. Now lie on the floor and see for yourself. That's right. Lie on the floor. First observe the change that occurred. And then try to bend your knees and do the movement with the head and the legs normally. That means you lift the pelvis when you roll upwards, and see whether that has anyway improved. That's right. You see, many of you bring now the knuckles in front on the floor, that if you think, how much do you turn now from up to down, you will see that you turn the wrist once and 1.5 times, which means 360 and 180 degrees, which is quite a lot compared with what we started with. But it's not then, we can do better than that. Now, lie still and rest a little. Please sit up again and see something very funny. Sit up, you can sit any way you like, but provided it's more or less symmetrical. Lift your arms, stretch them sideways. And now, twist the right arm downwards and the left one upwards. No, but in fists. Twist one and back again. Keep on doing it. And then you will see very funny, if you don't bend, just twist. Twist both arms, but every one in an opposite direction. And now again, is that the limit? You see, if you move sideways, if you rock your body sideways, while you twist your arms, then you will see a funny thing that each arm twists a little bit more than before. Now keep on doing it. Go to one side and move, and twist them over the other side and move. Now look also in the direction in which you lengthen, and watch what you're doing. Don't bend elbows. Twist without power, and you will see something very funny. Come on, move the body, twist the body, lengthen it, and move the arms. Why do you look? Surely, what does the head do when you do that? Leave the head free. Don't ill-treat it. Then you will see something very funny. No, you must not treat both at the same time. Twist them over and make one arm longer. That's right. Now you will see something very funny. If I tell you, move to the left and twist your arms as you do, but lean to the left, and then to the left, and stay there. Then you will see the great majority, those who have no injuries, have the left arm turned upwards, and you look always in the direction of the hand that's turned upwards, turned upwards, turned upwards, turned upwards, turned upwards. Look, except what of you who don't know where to turn, and therefore they then turn just anywhere, and in conjunction they are ill-coordinated normally. Now try again and see. twist, and you will see also, have you seen some people doing fencing? Have you seen the first movement in fencing is this, because they turn the head to the twisting arm. That's why we do it that way, not that way. Always that way. That's because of the same thing. Everybody who moves. Now you will see something very funny. If I tell you, move to the left and twist your arms as you do, but lean to the left, and then to the left, and stay there. Then you will see the great majority, those who have no injuries, have the left arm turned upwards, and you look always in the direction of the hand that's turned upwards, turned upwards, turned upwards, turned upwards, turned upwards. Look, except what of you who don't know where to turn. And therefore they then turn just anywhere. And in conjunction, they are ill-coordinated normally. Now try again and see. Twist. And you will see also, have you seen some people doing fencing? Have you seen the first movement in fencing is this, because they turn the head to the twisting arm. That's why we do it that way, not that way. Always that way. That's because of the same thing. Everybody who moves, lengthens the body while twisting the arm, twists with the arm upwards. That's why fencing starts like that. Now try again and do it and see that feels natural. Feels natural because that's what we are used to do. Try slowly. Go on doing it. That's right. Go on doing it. That's right. But if you can keep your arms the same level, don't go down. Now, why not go down? Go down. Go down with one arm, then lift the other one. All right. And twist them and go down to one side. Go down with both arms, that's right. And the other one. That's right. Go down. And if you go down as low as the floor will allow you. That's right. Twist. That's right. And now refrain from doing, keep them on the same level. Now, observe only whether you lean, whether your arm lengthens more than before, and whether you can feel the body rocking clearly on one toe, on one buttock and the other. All right. Now lie down. Bend your knees. Stretch your arms sideways and roll them upwards and downwards. Lift the head when you go one way and lift the pelvis when you go the other way. Your knees bent, of course. And just observe whether it's any better than before. whether the lifting is easier, whether lifting of the head is easier, whether arms twist a little bit more than before. Now, lie still or rest a little. You please lie on your back, stretch out your arms, and now make your fists and roll one fist up and one down on the floor lying like that. Take one down and one up. And you see now again, why is it so limited? You know already all yourself that you could roll much more than that. Now obviously you can feel that here you could lift one shoulder, lower the other, that you could turn your head. And you will find that if you don't think, your head will turn towards the hand that turns upwards all the time. If you're not careful, the head turns to the arm that rolls upwards. See it? Now, could you do something with what we have learned by now? Could you think of something yourself, how to make the thing a little bit easier, better? Yeah, that's it. Surely put your feet there, bend your feet, and assist with the feet, the torso, to turn so that it can do it. And the head also, of course. Move the head even more. That's right. And then change over. And can you see? And obviously you see the more the whole body is integrated in the work, in doing something, the better it does it, the easier it does it. Therefore you get supple, nimble, agile, without having to work very hard. And moreover, you know something about it. You become aware of your own self, how you function, and how you can change it to make movement easier, more comfortable. Now, stop a second, straighten out. Just lie still. See what it feels like. See what it does to your breathing. What I can see now when I look, almost all the abdomens move up and down, starting with the abdomen quite clearly. Where before you could see some holding the breath, the chest not moving at all. And abdomen means the diaphragm held still. Now stretch out your arms again, bend your knees, make your hands into fists. And now do the same thing as you did a minute ago, except that you turn to look at the arm that turns downwards. You turn one up and one down, but you look at the one that turns downwards, and you will see how funny that is. Now, move your body to make you that moment big. Your knees stand, your knees are bent, you stand on your feet, and you twist your body with your legs, with your knees, everything, to enable to make the biggest difference between the movement of the fists. That one fist turns much more than the other, and one much more than the other, all the time. Allow the body to go with it. Turn your head to the arm that is behind. That's right. Now, while you do that, you will find something very funny, that the legs go also. You tilt the legs, and you tilt them again in the direction of the arm upwards. Now, turn the head towards the head that rolls upwards. And the legs go also there. Now, go with the same thing the other side. That's right. And now roll your wrists and make sure that they do the opposite thing with the legs. It's the same thing, only the thinking is different. That's right. Now you look. The arms, one rolls up and one down, and the leg go to the arm that rolls downwards. The knees are tilted to the side slowly. Now observe that the head goes to the other one, to the one that goes up. Anything we don't think goes to the arm that goes up. Anything that we think we can do, we can choose, either together or opposite. But if we don't think, they all go together. It means that the differentiation is not an easy thing. To have choice, it means to become human, to have the free choice, is not an easy thing. That's why you had to eat of the apple of knowledge before you can make yourself make the effort. It's much easier to be silly and do it just like that naturally and don't think and doesn't matter what happens. It's easier than to become aware, to know what we do, to know thyself is a very hard thing. We try to make it as pleasant as possible, but it's still hard work. All right, now stop it, lie still. Just observe the difference this has made to you. What it feels like in the shoulders, in the body, in the head, in the breathing. And just stand up on one knee, on the right knee on the floor, and the left foot on the floor. Slowly. The right knee on the floor, the left foot on the floor. Stand like that. Stand, you're not standing. Right knee on the floor and left foot standing. That's right. And now stretch out your arms. And now bring one arm forward and the other one backwards. See which one will you do. That's right. Now twist them both in the same direction. And straighten them to twist them in the opposite direction. No, stay like that. Just twist your arms. See what you do with your head. Lower your head. When you twist them down. And lift them when you twist them up. Now, very funny, why do you all put the right arm forward? Can you see those things? I can tell them in advance, which shows you that that is machine-like work, that there's no choice. Now, when you take the arms, roll both arms upwards, take the head back, and you will see how stiff you still are, and therefore, and now roll them up downwards and bend the head, and observe the difference it does. What does it do to your hip joints? What does it do to the right, and what does it do to the left? Keep on doing it. Do a few moments. And while you do that, try to make one arm much longer than the other. That means both arms in one direction long, and then look, and then backwards, make it long, and look at them while you do that. Twist them, one forward, one backwards, and look at them. And one up and one down, and look at them. Look, no, there you're wrong. Because your head here, that would come up like that. You see, that's it. Now, go back, twist the other way, and they still, the eyes will look at the arm that goes upwards. If you go one up and one down, no, both that you're doing the same. One back and one forward. There you will see, if you look, you want to lengthen look, you will look at the hand that is turned upwards. That's it. Now, would you just bring the right arm forward, stand like that, right arm forward, and the left one forward and right backward, and do the same thing that we have done up now. Why is it so funny? Huh? That's again. Look at the one and you watch that gradually the head turns to the hand that looks upwards. Now, stretch both arms sideways. Roll them both together, forward, downwards, and bend your head, and watch and see what you can do. And then look, see, take your hands backwards and join them a little bit backwards, and you will see that your head goes with the head easily to the knee or lower than that. That's right. Now, roll them backwards and take your head backwards. Roll them backwards. That's right. Observe whether you can feel that your head goes more than before, and that the whole spine gets more flexible. And while you do that, observe that your hip joints, how they move. And then when you roll your arms backwards, observe how your pelvis pushes the left knee forward. That's right. Now, help yourself with both hands on the floor. Get up. Get up. And I left you with this side so that you can feel the difference. Those few movements. Do. Walk around and see what it feels like. And I wish you a happy holiday. Thank you.